Today we will recap the story of the 2005 movie, Chicken Little. In the town of Okie Oaks, everything is peaceful and normal until Chicken Little starts ringing the emergency bell, leaving all the citizens in a complete panic and causing utter chaos in the town, including car crashes and a giant sphere that destroys everything in its path. Upon hearing the sound of the alarm, the Dalmatian firedog drives off to try to help the population, but without knowing what exactly is going on, he goes to Chicken Little to find out what the emergency is. But when they hear Chicken Little saying that a piece of the sky fell on his head, the citizens don't believe him and are outraged that he caused all this panic because of a lie. Wanting to prove that he is telling the truth, Chicken Little goes under the oak tree where the piece of sky fell and starts looking for it, but since he can't find it, Chicken Little tries to describe the object. But just as he finishes explaining, a hazelnut falls right on his head. Embarrassed by all the confusion his son created, Buck Cluck tries to say that it was just a mental confusion caused by the impact of the hazelnut, totally discrediting his own son in front of everyone, angry with all the chaos the rooster has caused. The people go home quite frustrated and complaining to Buck Cluck for what the little rooster has done. A year after this event, the local people are producing a film to tell of the shame that Chicken Little went through, and instead of supporting his son, Buck Cluck advises Chicken Little to keep his mouth shut so that everyone forgets about him. While waiting for the school bus, the little chicken decides to listen to his father's advice in order to resolve the situation, but things start to go wrong when he gets trampled by the other students and ends up missing the bus. In order not to be late, Chicken Little starts running after the bus trying to signal the driver to stop, but as soon as he notices his presence, Foxy Loxy throws a bag of hazelnuts at Chicken Little, knocking him to the ground and humiliating him even more. Now without any hope of catching the bus, the little chicken decides to run to school, but ends up getting his foot caught in a piece of gum in the middle of the street. In his haste, the little chicken tries hard to get free, trying to release his foot, and he manages, but ends up stucking his shorts in place. When the traffic light opens, the little chicken grabs a lollipop from his pocket and decides to use the candy to stick to the chassis of the passing car. Incredibly, this ends up working out well. But since he is unlucky, the little rooster's shorts get stuck in the middle of the street and are run over by a car, sticking to the wheel and ending up in God knows where. In his underwear, Chicken Little covers himself with his hand and runs to school through the bushes trying not to be seen. When he gets to school, he grabs a bottle of soda from a vending machine and improvises a jetpack to get in through the window, but ends up landing right in front of the cheerleaders. Embarrassed, he runs to the closets and uses his math homework to make an extremely stylish paper shorts, but the janitor knocks on the closet door and ends up trapping the little chicken inside. After a whole class period of trying to get out, the little chicken finally manages to get loose and runs to gym class where his class is playing a very bizarre and somewhat dangerous dodgeball game. After class, Chicken Little is reunited with his group of friends consisting of Abby, Runt of the litter, and Fish out of water. As Abby tries to convince Chicken Little to talk to her father about his feelings, Foxy hits her right in the face, leaving Chicken Little totally enraged. But when he tries to get even with her, the duck grabs Chicken Little by the crest and throws him right into the school's security system, causing him to activate the fire alarm and flood the entire school, including his paper shorts, which fall apart. After all the commotion, the principal calls Chicken Little's father into the school and starts complaining about his behavior while the boy stands outside listening to everything. While sitting on the bench, the little chicken sees a newspaper from his father's school days and finds out that he was the best baseball player the school ever had, and to make him proud, he decides to follow in the same footsteps. On the way home, Chicken Little tells his father about his idea to join the baseball team, but afraid that his son will fail and be ridiculed once again, Buck Cluck tries to make him give up the idea, leaving Chicken Little extremely upset. After spending a sleepless night watching the stars, the next morning the little chicken decides to sign up for the baseball team anyway and starts training harder and harder, but is always ridiculed by the fox and the coach who won't let him participate in any of the season's games. On the day of the big final between Chicken Little's team and the team from a neighboring town, most of the players are injured, so Chicken Little is put out to play. When it is time to hit the ball, Chicken Little tries to follow the orders the coach has given him, but he is too slow and misses the first ball. When the other team's swan throws for the second time, Chicken Little tries to make the hit and this time, ends up making another mistake, losing one more time. With the team about to lose, everyone in the stands begins to put pressure on the little chicken, but he is not shaken because he is determined to make his father proud. When the swan makes his third throw, the rooster tries to hit it his way once more, but now he gets a hit. In baseball, after hitting the ball, the batter needs to run around the 4 bases of the field counterclockwise to score a point, and that is exactly what Chicken Little does. But he is so clueless that he ends up running in the opposite direction. As soon as he realizes his mistake, the little chicken turns around and passes second and third base while the opposing team tries to catch the ball. On the way to the last base, Chicken Little sees that the other team has already managed to get the ball and are heading for defense. In a hurry, he takes off his helmet and uses the weight of his own head to get more speed and thus reach the last base, but the speed was so great that a great cloud of dust rose up. When the dust settles, the referee sees that the bull has reached the base and automatically eliminates the rooster, leaving everyone extremely disappointed. But at this point, the usher calls a timeout and begins to remove the dirt from the field, revealing that the rooster's foot is still touching the base, which means that the rooster has won the victory point, making everyone extremely happy and proud, especially his father. At dusk, Chicken Little goes to his bedroom window and starts watching the sky until he notices that a star is shining much brighter than all the others. Suddenly, this star starts to get closer and closer, and shines brighter and brighter, until it falls on his head, causing him to faint instantly. When he regains consciousness, the little chicken starts to freak out because everything is happening once again, which ends up drawing the attention of his father, who rushes into the room. As soon as he realizes that his father is coming, the little chicken covers the panel with a piece of sky and pretends that nothing happened until he leaves. Just as his father leaves the room, the little chicken removes the covers and realizes that the thing is no longer there. Relieved, he starts walking back to the bed, but stumbles over the object that has now taken on the same wooden texture as the floor. Trying to understand how it works, the little chicken lifts the object and discovers that there are several circuits and buttons on the back of the panel. Not knowing what to do with this unidentified flying object, Chicken Little decides to call his friends and asks them to go there urgently. With everyone in his house, the little chicken shows them the piece that fell from the sky and asks them what he should do with it, but while they are thinking of a plan, the fish presses the button in the center of the panel that instantly starts to glow and float. The fish then climbs up on the panel and begins to be carried into the sky until the object snaps back into the part that was missing, leaving only the flare out. Not knowing what is happening to the fish, the trio of friends begin to follow the beacon as it flies toward the baseball stadium where the grand finale took place. As soon as they reach the field, the flare begins to spin extremely fast, blowing out the light bulbs and forming a tornado that begins to completely destroy the place. Suddenly, that light becomes a flying saucer that lands in the middle of the field and releases two octopus-shaped robot aliens that start walking away. Soon after the aliens are gone, Runt begins to lament, thinking that the fish has been eliminated and will serve as an alien guinea pig, but at that instant he appears on top of the ship, showing that he is safe and sound. Even though they are afraid, the trio gets into the ship to rescue their friend before the aliens return. And while exploring the place that looks like a mad scientist's lab, Chicken Little is distracted by an orange creature that begins to imitate him, but Abby appears and reminds them that they are on a mission to save the fish. Not imagining that the little creature is now following them, the trio of friends continue exploring the place until they find what they believe to be a fish skeleton, but to everyone's relief, it was actually just an X-ray. With everyone safe and sound, the group of friends starts looking for the exit, but halfway there Runt finds something that leaves everyone in shock. A map with all the last 5 planets of the solar system crossed out in a circle around the Earth, meaning they are destroying all the planets that orbit the Sun, and Earth is next on the list. In a complete panic, the group of friends begins to run for the exit to warn the authorities, but at that very moment the aliens return to the ship and realize that the little alien has been taken, entering a sort of berserker mode. As soon as they see the invaders, the aliens begin to chase them, thinking they have the baby, not realizing that the creature is right behind them, following them as if nothing is happening. When the group of friends reach the exit of the ship, Fish jumps first and Runt follows, but due to his gigantic size, the pig ends up getting stuck in the passage. With the aliens still after them, the little chicken keeps trying to lock the door while Abby manages to release Runt with a lot of effort. Once outside, the group of friends start running through the forest, and while the octopuses get stuck in the trees, they hide in the cornfields. But as soon as they get free, the aliens return to the chase and cut down the entire plantation in search of them. As a last resort to escape, the quartet goes to the school to ring the emergency bell at the top, but since the doors are locked, Runt tries to buy a soda for the rooster to use the bottle as a jetpack once again, but the machine simply does not want to accept his money. In a state of complete panic, Runt goes totally out of control and makes the machine spit out the soda, punching and shaking, thus getting the bottle for Chicken Little to take off. Once at the top of the school, the little chicken grabs the bell rope, but as he is about to pull it, he begins to remember how he was ridiculed last time and simply freezes. But when he realizes that the aliens are capturing his friends, he takes courage and finally rings the bell, which not only draws people's attention but also damages the circuits of these bizarre creatures. As soon as they notice the population arriving, the aliens immediately begin to return to the ship, and not wanting to be called a liar once again, the little rooster runs with the entire population and the reporters to the baseball field for everyone to see the ship, but they end up stopping because of a coin on the ground, and when they get there, the flying saucer is gone. As if the situation wasn't bad enough, the little chicken makes it even worse when he tries to explain that there is an invisible spaceship in the middle of the field and throws a rock to try to prove it, but as is obvious, the rock goes straight through and falls to the ground on the other side. Thinking it is yet another Chicken Little lie, the people rebel at Buck Cluck once again while Chicken Little and his friends try to convince people that it was true, but no one listens to them. As a last resort, the little rooster asks his father to believe him, but once again Buck Cluck turns his back on his son and tries to apologize to the rest of the population, who disperse in great frustration. After feeling once again that his father doesn't trust him, the little chicken goes home extremely sad, not realizing that the baby alien got lost in the cornfield and couldn't get back to the ship. The next morning, Buck Cluck is receiving cursing calls from the entire population while Chicken Little is alone outside, until his friends show up and try to convince him to talk to his father to solve the situation. But Chicken Little says it's no use now and asks them to leave. As soon as his friends leave, Chicken Little realizes that the little alien has been left behind and calls his group back to help him take care of the baby, but as soon as they take on this mission, the sky begins to crack and several spaceships descend to Earth, leaving the entire population in a panic. When he sees the ships, the little alien immediately realizes that his parents have come back for him and starts running towards them, forcing Chicken Little to follow him to keep him safe, but in the middle of the way, Chicken Little is stopped by his father, who tries to force him into the car to escape. Knowing that he is the only one who can save the planet, Chicken Little tries to tell his father about the baby, but when he realizes that he is doubting him once again, Chicken Little breaks free and chases the little alien again, saving him at the last second before he is hit by a runaway truck. After saving the alien, the little rooster ends up inside the movie theater where he is once again found by his father, who tries to take him to the car, but they end up getting into a totally out of order argument about Buck Cluck's lack of support for his son. After hearing everything the little rooster has to say, Buck Cluck realizes what he has done and apologizes to his son, promising to support him in everything from now on. With this problem between them solved, the rooster shows the fuzzy baby, saying that they must take him to the aliens, and that is exactly what they will do, but not before the rooster declares to Abby and gives her a cinematic kiss. Still with no sign of the little guy, the aliens leave their ships to look for him personally, but are met by the fox, who hits a rock right in their faces, only to be disintegrated with a laser beam in front of her friend, who cowardly flees. Not far away, the little rooster picks up the baby in his lap to take him to the aliens, but gives up on the idea and decides to go to Plan B when he sees the mayor of the city being disintegrated before his eyes, but the aliens see that they have the baby and start attacking them, forcing father and son to hide inside the car. Trying to end the problem once and for all, father and son decide to get out of the car and take the most dangerous route possible to get to the ship where the little alien's parents are. As they run, they are chased by the aliens, who try at all costs to disintegrate them, but Buck Cluck manages to reflect the rays with a trash can lid, eliminating one of the aliens. But they don't even have time to celebrate. They are soon cornered by one of the bizarre octopuses and are almost disintegrated, if not saved by Run to the Litter, Fish Out of Water and Abby, who stole the fire truck. They head for City Hall while immobilizing all the aliens they meet along the way with the bell of the truck. Once inside the building, the group starts climbing the stairs until they reach the terrace where the main ship is located. When they reach the highest point of the building, father and son are hit by the ship's leisure ray and end up in an anti-gravity room where they discover that that ray was not disintegrating, but an abduction. In this room, the little rooster and his father are confronted by the leader of the aliens and accused of having taken his son, but Buck Cluck responds by saying that they were the ones who left the baby behind, which ends up making the alien quite enraged. To try to calm him down, he releases the baby, who runs back to his mother's arms, but the alien activates the ship's dozens of weapons, insisting that he will destroy them. But just as they are about to be eliminated, the little alien appears and confirms that it was he who got lost and left. With everything explained, the alien puts the weapons away and puts them back on the ground, revealing his true form soon after. To apologize for the misunderstanding, the aliens rebuild the entire city and return the people who were abducted, but for some reason Foxy has completely changed her personality and turned into a good person. Finally, they explain that all they wanted were the hazelnuts, which only exist here on planet Earth. With all this situation resolved, the aliens thank the rooster for saving the Earth, get into the ship that is falling apart, and return to their planet, while Buck Cluck wonders what they will do with that movie they were producing. A year later, this movie finally comes out, but like any good movie based on real facts, they totally change the story, making Chicken Little handsome. together with his friends, fights an intergalactic war and single-handedly manages to decimate an entire army of aliens. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.